but we have something like 12,000 active users logging in, having logged in about 300,000 hours of learning so far. So with that, we have curated a few courses and we have brought them into the curriculum. That integration into the curriculum took a lot of effort from both the GITAM side and Coursera side, but collaboratively, we're able to get a number of these courses from engineering, management, sciences, law, and I forget another institute. We have several of them already on the Coursera platform. You would be, as students, you would be learning these from the Coursera platform, they're for credit. And there are a number of other programs. Wherever we are not able to find a suitable course on Coursera, there are a number of electives, the number of electives that are available to all of you. There were 4,000 plus courses. If you have a license to Coursera, you have access to 4,000 licenses. So this is such an important day that we are officially launching it today. I'm happy to invite Mr. Sri Bharat, President of GITAM, who is with us today, Vice Chancellor Professor Sivram Krishna, Pro Vice Chancellor Academics Professor J. Warrior. We have several deans, Pro VCs, and a number of other participants from GITAM and from Coursera, and extend a welcome to Raghav Gupta, who's the Managing Director of India and Asia Pacific. We have Bipin Shivas, who is Head of Customer Success across Asia Pacific. We have Deepak Gupta, who's Head of Implementations from Asia Pacific. We also have our own Akanksha Kapoor, who is the Customer Success Manager working with us very closely. She's our first level contact for GITAM. So again, welcome to all of you. With that, I would like to invite President Mr. Sri Bharat to come and say a few words and set the tone for this launch.
Thank you, Krishgaru. Good evening, all participants, students, faculty, Coursera team. Can you hear me all right? Krishgaru, is the voice okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Okay,
yes.
Great. So I think this is a beginning of a series of events that we will be doing over the next month to launch Coursera across the 3 campuses. Many of you may have already experienced Coursera. We have close to 15,000 people who have enrolled into the platform and about 13,000 who are doing or have completed courses so far. So this is not new to us. I think more than half of the GITAM ecosystem has already experienced Coursera. Now, what is happening today is we are now transitioning from the Corona initiative of Coursera to the 3-year long-term partnership that we entered. And this partnership comes with a lot of sort of changes to your academic experience, either as a faculty member or as a student. As a faculty member, I think you will now be expected to incorporate a lot of these Coursera courses into your curriculum, your syllabus, and use them as teaching aids, supplements to existing courses. And as students, I think you will be learning from universities and professors from across the world towards your graduation requirements. As we have stated in the past, this is a Herculean exercise, and this has been a big leap of faith on behalf of GITAM. But so far, the results have been very encouraging. So I'm thankful to all of the consumers and to the Coursera team in particular for making all of this happen. The next 3 years is going to be critical, and I really hope that we make good use of the 20,000 licenses that we have for GITAM. Primarily, as Krishgaru had said, we will be incorporating these courses into engineering, management, science, law, and I don't know what, 1 or 2 other disciplines. And they will be occupying up to 10 to 20% of your learning hours through your semester. And all of these courses will be applying towards your credit. So you would be taking examinations, getting grades, And the reason why we're incorporating it is to ensure that no student is left behind. Because I know there's some of us who are very motivated. You don't need to be told to learn. I think you have the innate desire to do so. But many of us probably need to have some incentive to learn. And I'm not very far from you. I was a student 15 years ago. And there were courses where I studied only for the sake of finishing it and getting the grades. But we hope that through this journey, the joy of learning is reignited in all of you. We don't want you to do a degree just for sake of completing some academic requirement or getting some certificate, but rather it should reignite in many of you learning new skills, learning new attitudes, learning about what's happening in areas outside of your discipline, helping shape you into better individuals who can face the world ahead. And we know that for us to be able to offer 4,000 different courses from 150 universities by ourselves is probably impossible. So, and Coursera has brought learning to our doorstep, and we're very thankful to them for that. To all of the attendees today, I know that it's not the entire population of GITAM. What is important is that you embrace this with open hands and you make the best use of the opportunity available, because we are dealing with our own challenges internally, because we have only 20,000 licenses, but including faculty and staff, we have a total population of close to 30,000 in GITAM. That means there will be about 10,000 people who we will not be able to give access to the license. And the reason for this is it's expensive. In spite of Coursera giving us a good price per license, where overall it's a very expensive proposition for the entire university. The reason we're taking this leap of faith and investing into this is we don't want to leave any stone unturned in preparing you for the kind of world that you're going to be entering into when you finish your undergraduate or postgraduate program. COVID obviously has disrupted all of our lives. I'm sure many of your parents and your own families, you're seeing people aren't getting paid on time. Many of them are getting laid off. Companies are downsizing. Many companies are shutting down. The economy is in a recession. We don't know what the future holds. So we want to be at the forefront of the knowledge framework and understand how everyone is adapting to this. And I think no better way than to have a platform like Coursera that is not only having access to knowledge, but it is also assignments, because Coursera provides courses offered by universities, not experts alone, but also people who come with a sort of academic and pedagogy background. So the ask of faculty members, of students, is please make use of this. Please ensure that you maximize value for all the stakeholders. And we would like to see more and more of you competing. I mean, we've had some really amazing success stories in the last 3-4 months, and I'm sure they will be sharing those in this launch webinar. I think there was one faculty member who did almost 300 courses in the last 3 months. That's almost how many courses? That's about 3.5 courses a day. Can you imagine that? And I mean, I couldn't believe that one person has done 300 courses. I thought that maybe he figured out a way of gaming the system. But our team has actually interviewed this faculty member, and we found that for them, it became like a 10-hour job every day. 10 hours they were spending on Coursera. And I did not expect that. And it's not just the faculty. I think there was a student who did about 100 courses on the Coursera platform. And I'm very, very sort of heartened to see these sort of success stories and adoption. And out of the 15,000, I think at least 7,000 or 8,000 have completed one course, and about 5,000 have completed 2 or more courses. So, which shows that most of you are already ready. Most of you have already experienced or have gotten a taste of online learning. That's fantastic. And I think it sets us up well for the future ahead. But now there are 3 or 4 main intentions behind the Coursera partnership. One, as I had earlier mentioned, to give access to diverse learning opportunities to our students. Second is to enable the outliers. Many of you may be in programs that you did not desire to be in, but you're there by chance because your parents or somebody else made you join. But now with Coursera, you have the opportunity to study any other course that interests you, any other passion that you have in life. The next is our faculty members get exposure to how universities around the world are teaching and designing courses, and that can be useful for us. And lastly, we have the opportunity to bring in inter and multidisciplinarity to all of our programs. And as India is also progressing towards multidisciplinarity and the new education policies speaking about a lot of this, we hope that the future is going to have people within GITAM doing multiple degrees at the same time, an engineer and a doctor side by side, or a lawyer and a pharmacist at the same time. And I believe that's possible. And Coursera gives us that flexibility to bring in all of those learnings and to fill in all of those gaps and to equip us with all of those abilities. So I wish all the best to the Coursera team and to our team and to GITAM overall. I think it is in all our interest to make the most use of this opportunity. And I hope you all, students and faculty together, make us feel that this was an investment that was worth 10 times the cost. Thank you.
Thank you, Bharat. That's very inspirational. I'm sure a number of you who have already started the journey will embrace it even more and encourage your friends to take advantage of this. There is obviously adversity all around us, but those of us who convert that adversity into an opportunity will stay ahead of everybody else. And on the binge learning, so to speak, of Coursera, a number of students have said that they've traded Netflix for Coursera. So if you've been binge watching Netflix, here is an opportunity for you to have fun and explore the world through Coursera that's being made available to you from GITAM. With that, now I would like to invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor Sivaram Krishna, to address the students and faculty and say a few words.
Thank you, Krish, and very good evening to all of you. Warm and hearty welcome to this Coursera launching webinar. First of all, let me thank our Honorable President and management team for creating a great opportunity to all of us. And in fact, people are talking about online and learning from online sources after COVID scenario, but GITAM has thought under the leadership of Bharat Garu, this particular Coursera and other platforms we have reviewed, and we thought that Coursera is the best platform to learn online. So that's how we have taken a decision, maybe by debating almost few months, and that's how today it has been happening, launching of this Coursera. And Coursera has given an opportunity to experience the things as a COVID gesture, as a corporate social responsibility, free of licenses. That gave us an opportunity to give an opportunity to our students and faculty to see how Coursera is going to be going to add value to all of us. Let me share here, ultimately in an academic institution, our interest is to give a good learning. So this learning has to bring a desirable behavioral change in an individual in whichever program he is, maybe in engineering or management or medicine, whatever. So we are going to develop a behavior of a doctor, behavior of a manager, behavior of an engineer. So that behavioral change over a period of 3 years, 4 years, 5-year program, at the end of the day, he should become a good professional in his respective discipline. That is the ultimate objective. In that, the process of learning is very, very important. That's what we call it as a teaching learning process. That has taken a different shapes over a period of time. Now we are talking about online and all this. But ultimately, whether it's an online or a chalk and talk or OHP, whatever the way we are going to give a good learning to the students in terms of knowledge and skills, which will ultimately bring the change in his behavior as a professional. So one type of learning is learning experiences through books, listening and all that. Another way of learning is experiential learning, like a laboratory is going into the lab and doing things and then experience it. And we are talking about experiential learning in last 2 decades. For that, lots of new pedagogy has come into picture. The third one is learning through experience. So these are, is it audible? Hello?
We can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, it's some blank screen has come. So this learning through personal experiences in our day-to-day life, whenever we are experiencing certain things, we learn out of it, knowingly or unknowingly. This is how these 3 ways a human being will learn things and change his behavior and apply this behavior for his day-to-day life to lead and contribute to the society. That's what we expect from any individual. As a higher education institution, since it's an end program where he is going to enter into his life, making a career in a particular profession. So we will think that that fellow will be with a full-fledged, well-rounded personality so that he can comfortably land into his career, a professional career, and contribute to himself and to the society. So in the process, Coursera is another tool has come into picture online. And with a lot of experience, here in an institution, you may be having 100 faculty or maybe 1,500 faculty. But whereas Coursera is bringing a platform of a renowned faculty from a renowned institutions, their knowledge is going to be put into an online course, which we are going to take it as an advantage to add value to our own self. That's how I request all the faculty, take it this as an opportunity. It's a rare opportunity. In every institute, you won't get it. So this opportunity will give you to know what are the changes are happening in your own discipline and also the related discipline, interdisciplinary things. It's a great opportunity. Just you can browse it and have a glance. If you are interested, you can go into that particular course and learn how it is going to impact your own discipline also. In your own discipline, what are the changes are happening? The related disciplines, what are the changes are happening? In a click of button, you can understand and make use of it. And not only that, this gives an opportunity to experiment different pedagogies, how people are using it, how they developed online courses. You also think of, if I want to give the similar type of course, how can I do it? That way, it's a great learning to you by doing 1 or 2 courses or maybe the related courses. All the subjects need not be taught in a singular way. So there are varieties of ways to teach different subjects. All those things you can learn, or otherwise you can mix 2, 3 things, make it your own way. That opportunity you can have by seeing so many courses and how they are really giving a very interesting way to give a course. That is another advantage to the faculty by going through this particular platform, and how to learn new things, and you can showcase your abilities also one day or other. After experiencing, our Honorable President interest is also that our people can put a lessons or otherwise courses into Coursera platform. We have to reach to that level. And this experience will definitely enhance our abilities and our capacities to convert your regular class activity, what we have been doing last few years, that we can convert into online course. That's another advantage to the faculty. I really appreciate if you all make use of it. Definitely, it's going to add a lot of value to yourself and to your own department and to the university and to the student community. When it comes to the student community, it's really, again, worldwide experience they are going to have through Coursera. It's a rare opportunity. Particularly this generation can have their career opportunities anywhere in the world, need not confined to state or a nation or any part of the world. That is possible only when you know what is happening across the globe in your own discipline, in your own profession. So all these things are possible through Coursera. In your regular class, you may be having basic fundamentals, but the advanced things, even the fundamentals also, to know deeply, some of the Coursera programs are helpful to you to personally experience it and feel it, it's mine. So once you feel it's mine and I know everything, I know clearly, then from there to build your career is not an easy task. It is not a difficult task. That's how Coursera is going to give a lot of advantage. And sometimes you may have a feeling that if I know this, that, how it is going to be and all that. You want to experiment it. But in a regular process, it's not possible. But whereas here in Coursera, you can know the basic concepts, whether it is really what you are thinking or it is different. You can taste it. If it is your taste, you can continue it. Otherwise, you can leave it. That way, there are opportunities to experiment it and learn new things and develop insights where you want to be, where you want to make a career. So that's how I personally feel for the faculty, for the students, it's a great opportunity to develop their career and improve their career opportunities and have a better career in the future. With this, I once again thank our management for giving this opportunity for all of us to learn new things and to take it forward our university to give a better opportunity for the learning. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your motivational message. We started the journey with Coursera. Now we are learning through the content provided by Coursera, but soon we want to see a reverse flow of our content getting on Coursera platform that should be consumed by learners world over. So that's our goal. That's a high standard to set, and I think our faculty are capable of attaining that standard, and there's support for the faculty from the university administration, and you should aim high, because the only way you will get there is by aiming high. Thank you once again. With that, now I want to open it up for a fireside chat that is on schedule. That is going to be our guest today is Mr. Raghav Gupta, the managing director of for India and Asia Pacific for Coursera. The buck really stops with him for us. I'm happy you made the time to be here, Raghav. Welcome to GITAM. And he's going to be hosted by Professor Jay Shankar Warrior. Professor Warrior has joined us recently as Pro VC Academics. So just like the Coursera, the buck stops with Raghav on the other end. The buck within GITAM, as far as digital learning goes, stops with Professor Warrior. So I'm happy that he's here to host the fireside chat. So it's over to both of you. Jay, take it away.
Thank you, Krish. I'm really happy to have this opportunity and to host Raghav Gupta. We have met a couple of times, Raghav. What I'll do is I'll just, do you want to give an introduction of any kind, Raghav, for the start?
Sure, Professor Jay, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
And, firstly, good evening to everyone. It's a real pleasure for me to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And I've been listening to all the words that have been shared. It's an exciting moment for, myself and the Coursera team as well to be officially launching at GITAM University. So big congratulations to the management team, the academic leadership team, the faculty and the students, and also my colleagues. I think given what we've seen in the last 3-4 months and given some of the stories that are coming out from your experience, I think this is going to be already a fantastic partnership. And, starting out well is already half the battle won. So congratulations. Early days, but congratulations on the launch to everyone.
Raghav, you said early days. Now, one of the things that we keep hearing is the large number of courses that Coursera offers from a huge, very renowned universities. I'm a student at GITAM. I know that GITAM has curated some of the courses which I need to take for a curriculum as part of my curriculum. How do I, is there a simple way that I can decide which courses I should take?
Absolutely. Is it okay if I give a slightly long answer, Professor J, to your question?
Sure, Raghav, go ahead.
So let me tell everybody a little bit about the company behind what they have seen on our content as well, and that will help frame the answer. So Coursera has 6.5 crore individual learners on our platform globally, of whom 90 lakh are in India. The content that everybody's seen at GITAM on Coursera comes from 210 institutions, 170 top universities, and 40 companies. And then on our institutional platform, we work with 2,500 companies and 10,000 other institutions in the government and the university space. What this gives us is a lot of data. We have millions and millions of data points, and we have a very good understanding of what's happening, especially in the working world. And some of you may have seen this. We released a report called the Global Skills Index about 6 weeks ago. And Global Skills Index is Coursera's point of view of what's happening in the skilling landscape in the world, especially how is COVID changing skills landscape of the future. Now, I said this recently last week, that 2 quarters of crisis has brought about a decade of change. And we are finding that in the working world, whenever I speak to a leadership team member, how businesses are going to change is very, very dramatic. And to be able to understand how businesses are changing and then to be able to plan learning is going to be extremely important. And I think Bharat said this at the start, that the next 2 to 4 years are possibly going to be a jobs recession, and it's going to be a very competitive market out there. And given all of this as context, I think a combination of what students will learn at GITAM University and online on Coursera is a powerful combination. And I think that's a great way for us to be thinking about what are the relevant courses, what are the relevant skills that faculty members, students, and everybody at GITAM University should be thinking about.
Okay. Thank you, Raghav, for that. But one of the comments I get sometimes from faculty, even within GITAM and even outside, is that many of these courses, online courses, the assessment component is it's a bit light. Now, how does that actually affect my job prospects as a student? If I do these courses, what is the kind of impact that these things will have?
Sure. So there are 2 aspects to this, and I think this is a great question and a very relevant question as well. One, the corporate world, 80% of the learners on the Coursera platform, of these 6.5 crore learners globally, are actually working professionals. So it's helpful to realize that many people in industries, in companies like Axis Bank, in companies like Accenture, in companies like Infosys, are learning on Coursera. So the working world already has a very good appreciation of what they learn on the Coursera platform. Second, from a learning standpoint itself, the depth of the assessment is linked to the proficiency of a course that an individual is taking. So if a computer science student is taking, a beginner Python course versus an advanced level Python course, the depth of those assessments will be quite different. And third, our product is evolving fairly quickly. And what we will have coming out in the future is deeper assessments, more content, guided projects, which your students have been enjoying quite tremendously as well. So there will be further enhancements that will happen over the next 6 months and even beyond that as well. And my sense is that a combination of all of these should bring high quality learning to students, along with a credential that is recognized in the working world, in the job market as well. And I think, like I said, I also want to say that a combination of what students are learning on campus, plus what they will learn on the Coursera platform, can be this powerful combination.
Thank you, Raghav. Just to, I would preface my context. We have started recommending these introductory classes also, like for example, a photography course on Coursera through our clubs. So we, in some sense, we are trying to I'm trying to convince Student Life, for example, that you take these simpler courses and you demonstrate proficiency. So it's not just about learning, but the hope is that over a period of time, when they start using this, they will become lifelong learners. The other concern that sometimes faculty have is that, the learners, how well, can they actually, are they actually learning, or actually, taking the information from somewhere else and uploading it into Coursera and getting an assessment done, right? Benefiting from somebody else's work. Is there a systematic way that Coursera has now figured out to prevent these kinds of issues?
Yeah, so I think what you're asking is, can you cheat on Coursera, if I understand the question?
I don't want to say
simply,
that.
Right?
Yeah.
So firstly, you will be caught if you're cheating today. I won't talk about what these tools are, but there are tools which will catch you if you're cheating. These tools will get much, much stronger, Professor Jay, over the next, I would say, 4 to 6 months. Please keep in mind, and many people who are listening in today may already know this, what we are bringing to GITAM is MOOC courses, guided projects, specializations. But there are full 21 online degrees on the Coursera platform. And when some of the world's top universities put their degrees on the Coursera platform, academic integrity is the minimum that they want. They want students to learn high quality content. They also want students to take exams where there is no cheating that is happening. The technology already exists on how to not enable or allow cheating to happen online. And I would dare say that the kind of technology is actually stronger than what would be available in a physical environment. Over the next 4 to 6 months, a lot of that technology will come to the GITAM Coursera program as well. And so it would not be a good idea to be thinking about, getting through these courses by cheating. I think it's been said before, Krish, Bharat, and the Vice Chancellor spoke about moving to enjoying learning. And I think that's what we are together trying to do here. And I think if that's the approach that we see students, we see faculty members taking, I think this can be an amazing experience for all the learners involved.
Okay. You said enjoy learning. And one of the, my personal take has been that for example, your global skills report provides a lot of information of what is required in the job market, and also how it actually impacts the future. Now, as a learner, how should I actually use these global skill reports? Because it takes some level of understanding to then decide what is it that I want to accomplish. Can you please elaborate a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Global Skills Index tracks learning happening in 60 different countries where there are many, many Coursera learners. It also tracks what's happening in 10 industries. So these are industries which include financial services, insurance, manufacturing, technology, consumer goods, so 10 large industries are covered. In these industries, the report says 3 things. One, which industry does well in which skill today, and which skills are that industry looking to build. So if I'm an MBA student or I'm a commerce student and I want to work in the consumer goods industry, the report tells us that from 2020 onwards, half the world's population is now online. And of those 4 billion people who are now online, 2 billion people will transact online for products and services, because COVID has accelerated e-commerce, services online, and so on. Now, if I, as an individual who's studying for management or commerce, decide that I want to go and work in the consumer goods industry, and it is imperative learning certain skills which will enable online delivery of products and services to that industry. Which skills are those specifically? And there are 40,000 skills that you can learn on the Coursera platform, which will be quite confusing. But which are those skills specifically that you should be learning if you want to work in the online industry when it comes to consumer goods? That is what the report calls out. So you can actually literally go industry by industry and say, how does this industry do in different skills, and which are the skills of the future in a particular industry? So if I'm an engineering student and I want to know, what are the skills that technology companies like Accenture and Capgemini and Infosys and others are looking to build for the future at a very granular level, the report provides that information as well.
Thank you, Raghav. I just noticed, but the top 10 courses that you seem to have listed for student, of your takers are focused quite heavily on technology and data science. Now, does this mean that, why is it that only these courses are sort of popular, whether, some of the skills like photography or any of these things don't get it? Because lifelong learning, I would think that, Sri Bharat talked about being in the wrong place because of parents, etc. I would think that people would use these kinds of opportunities to diversify themselves.
Yeah. So let me just qualify that a little bit, Professor Jay. There are 4,300 courses on Coursera, 350 guided projects on Coursera, but a top 10 list can only include 10 courses, right? So it is not obviously everything. So let's keep that in mind. Second, a lot of people come to Coursera because they want to learn and they want to prosper. And when they want to prosper, they want to build skills for the fourth industrial revolution. The Global Skills Index tells us that those businesses which are investing in technology skills and data science skills are actually doing better in a post-COVID world. So the reality is that a lot of industries are seeing skill development for the future happening in the broad domains of technology and data science. That being said, there are other courses in the top 10 in India, if anyone were to look at it, including learning how to learn. So just a very fundamental course that any human being should be taking. Communication skills. So using English for business communication is also amongst the top 10 courses as well. And then also this year, because for all of us, health has become such an important topic. Wellness has become such an important topic. The science of well-being from Yale University is in that list. And courses related to wellness, courses related to COVID are also in that list. So I'm saying 2 points here if I were to summarize. One, if you are looking to build skills of the future, a lot of those skills are in the broad domains of data science and technology. Along with that, some communication skills, fundamental skills like learning how to learn are a part of the top 10. But then keep in mind, the top 10 is only the top 10, right? So if you were to look at possibly the top 50, you will see a wider mix of courses available as well.
I also noticed that many of these courses that you're introducing now are less on technology and data science, more on what would be traditionally called as core engineering, like additive manufacturing, etc. Is that so? How do you actually decide which new courses to introduce then?
Yeah, that's a great question. We look at multiple sources in terms of deciding, what are the courses that should be coming on the Coursera platform. Because we work with 2,500 companies, we get a lot of feedback from companies on what are the skills of the future that they're looking to build. Because we work with 210 content creators, universities, and companies, we also get a lot of feedback from leading institutions like Michigan or Yale, or leading companies like Facebook and Google and IBM on what are some of the skills that they are thinking about. We look at third-party platforms like Glassdoor to say what are some of the skills of the future. And then we get a lot of feedback from our learners as well. And I'd encourage everybody at GITAM actually to share this feedback with us. We'd love to hear from faculty, from students, and as to what can Coursera be doing to make your learning experience more powerful. And because we are this platform that is able to bring all of this together, we are then able to go and source the right content for the future. And I would add that we're also looking to make sure that the top quality courses stay on our platform. So there is a quality control process that happens before courses go online. And then, learners rate these courses, basis that we keep courses, sometimes we take courses off, and so on and so forth. So that's the broad process that I think we follow. And I would encourage, your students, faculty to share feedback in terms of areas where they would like to see new content coming on the Coursera platform. One additional point I would add is we've so far had a lot of top universities from the US, from Europe, from Australia, other parts of Asia on our platform. And about a month and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, we announced a partnership with IIT Roorkee. So IIT content will now start coming on the Coursera platform. And then late last year, we announced a partnership with IIM Calcutta, and that content will also. So our intent is, let's bring the best of the world as well as India to learners, around the world, as well as specifically at GITAM.
Thank you, Raghav. And it's really interesting, your concept of guided projects. Now, these are most of these guided projects are contributed from the industry. Am I correct in saying that? And how can GITAM actually help you in contributing to these guided projects?
So let me answer the second question first. GITAM can pretty much right away start thinking about creating your own guided projects. There are authoring tools that we will make available. You can, these are 1 to 2 hour projects. We are creating a project network where individuals can come together and create these projects. And the intent is, university partners should be creating guided projects. The educators who create content today on our platform should be creating guided projects, but also companies, like you said, Professor Jay, and individuals as well who are experts in a particular field. Guided projects, by the way, was launched about 3 months ago. And within these 3 months, there are 350 guided projects already on Coursera. Our intent is to take them to 1,000 by the end of this year. And almost 10 lakh guided projects have been consumed in the last 3 months already. So we're seeing a lot of value being delivered via these projects. And that's how I think, I would encourage all of you at GITAM to think about these as well.
Thank you, Raghav, for spending the time and also explaining the many features of Coursera. There are 7,500 students of ours who have actually completed one course in this just the last 3 months. So I think that we are on the way, at least a course, right? Many of them have actually completed 3 courses or more. And as some of them have actually done 300 to 100 courses. I look forward to this long journey, and I believe this will be a transformation in both in terms of pedagogy and in terms of the way students will learn after the university also, basically lifelong learning. Thank you, Raghav.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. On a lighter note, I would say towards the end of this year, my intent is to set up a leaderboard amongst universities in India. I'd love for all of you to be at the top, but this is just a heads up that we will be looking at performance at a wider level as well. But thank you for inviting me today.
Thank you. Thank you for the challenge. Yeah, bye. Over to you, Krish. Yeah.
Thank you, Raghav and Jay, for that engaging conversation. We named it Fireside Chat. Unfortunately, the fire was missing physically, but metaphorically, I think there's a lot of fire you're igniting in the learners. I'm sure they should all get motivated to get to enjoy the learning. Of course, learning should not be taken as a chore anytime. And this concept of lifelong learning and bringing all the learning to my fingertips. So I sit in front of a computer and explore the world. What else can we ask for? I cannot go to the 200 universities at a time. You have made it possible to bring 200 universities to my fingertips. So that's amazing. I think the concept itself is amazing, and I appreciate all the hard work that Coursera puts behind the scenes. None of you, the Coursera members, have been ever difficult to reach. In fact, you're always available to us, even before we ask for help. You're willing to help, and I hope that this partnership flourishes into something big. And I thank you, Raghav, and all of your team members for the support. In fact, how fitting is it that a launch of a leading online provider is being done online? So that goes to say how things have changed. Sure. Let's move on. I think, Rima, are you coming in to present, or is there a video that we're going to show first?
I'll come in to present,
okay.
and then, unless Akansha, do we have?
Those of you who haven't interacted with Rima Gupta, let me introduce her as the head of our digital learning initiative. Her coming to GITAM couldn't have been more timely. She's come on and she jumped right into the fray, and she has taken this whole online and blended learning initiative by its horns, and she's been very instrumental in the progress that we made. While the deans and the rest of the team have laid the initial foundation, she started from there and started building on top of that. And there's many more things that are coming in blended learning, because that is the way forward. We've adopted blended learning as our new pedagogy. So you will keep seeing her more often, keep interacting with her more often. But for now, she has a short presentation to make and probably a couple of videos to show you as well. Over to you, Rima.
Thank you so much, Krish. A very warm and good evening to all of you. And thank you to the senior management for inviting me and for giving me this opportunity. I think this is a phenomenal time we are in. And as Raghav and Jay said, right, we want to encourage the learners. And I really thought long and hard for the title of my topic or of my conversation today. And I think, one of the things that we are really excited about this partnership is that it's empowering the learners to own their future. And as Krish rightly said, right, it's not just your immediate future, but also your long-term future. So think about this as we go through this slide deck. And again, I'll talk a little fast because I know that time is short, but we will take question and answers. And, I want to give you some points of reflection, as well as Krish said, this is just the beginning of a journey together. We are in this is a marathon, I feel, and I feel there are a lot of learnings that we'll have to get work together to improve the system and get the most out of it. But again, this is a great beginning and a great start. To start us off, I know it is a webinar and it is, but something for you to think about is that, when you think about it, let me start you with a question, is that think about what is one constant in your life. And there is a Q&A here for those of you who are on the webinar, but those of you who are on YouTube, you can use the YouTube comment section to give me some of your thoughts. But to help you along to think, is it happiness? Is that one constant in your life? Maybe you're a very happy person. Is it love? Is that something that's a constant in your life? Is it change? Is that a constant in your life? Are there friends? I know many of you are students, maybe friends who you have grown up with and they've been there, GITAM friends, are they the constant in your life? Or is it family, right? We have family we've grown up with and we plan to grow old with. Are they the constant in your life? And something to think about, because we were talking about change and, we think about, from my side, I think the one constant in our life is definitely change, right? Because as in Buddhism, they say, if you don't like something, wait, it will change. If you do like something, wait, that too will change. So I feel change is one constant in our life. And, when we talk about education, right, this is how our classes used to be. We used to be all together, sitting together, discussing things. We would have a faculty who would moderate it. The new class is this, right? And we are all on the Zoom. We are all on this together. And this is actually a snapshot taken from a faculty training session that we had earlier this month. And again, it's change, right? That's the only constant, whether you're thinking about education or when you think about industry. So I wanted to present some data from when we talk about change, not just from an education perspective, right? But as you look at your careers, some interesting data points to consider, right, is that the top Fortune 500 companies, right, 40% of them won't exist in 10 years from now. So imagine the Fortune 500 companies, about 200 of them that you see them in the list today won't be there. So which company should you aim for? Are you aiming for an employment that's lifelong? Maybe that's a wrong goal to have, right? The other thing that is very important, and again, I think Jay touched upon it with Raghav, is what is the skill sets that we should acquire? And again, the thing is that the average shelf life of a technical skill that you acquire is only 2 years. So every 2 years, imagine you have to refresh your skills, right? Maybe you started with learning Excel, you moved on to Google, and by the time you graduate, there'll be a new technology that's out there that you'll need to master. And finally, when we talk to corporates and CEOs, one of the things that they say is that, you know, the people that they hire lack key skills. And the question is, did we not acquire them or did they change along the way? And I would say the latter is more the case, that we did acquire a certain skill set for a particular time frame, but they have changed. And so what do we do about that, right? And again, to build up on this conversation, as we started with Jay saying that, hey, when I look at the top 10 courses, most of them are technology courses or data science courses. And is that the only skill that is there? And I wanted to share with you some very, very interesting pictures. So this is of a miner in China who is doing mining from his house, and he's operating a JCB from his house in a coal mine. And the vehicle is, of course, a self-driven vehicle. So this is something that is happening today. How a coal miner, you would think that is such a physical job, has also changed and is changing. And the other one, of course, is my favorite. It's a but just to give you a few thoughts, why have I put a pic here? What is new about and again, I wish this was an interactive session, but this pig's name is Gertrude. Maybe that rings a bell. And if it doesn't, I would really encourage you to look up Elon Musk. And his latest announcement is something he called a neural link. And this is a link that's implanted in this pig's brain, and it is transmitting brain signals to a computer. Now, this is something live. At some point, they want to use this technology for medical purposes, as well as maybe in the future, remotely controlling your Tesla, right? So now, it is not the future. And this is what is changing the world and the world we will get into when we look for jobs. So something to keep as a backdrop to our conversation today. And so, you know, when we talk about what is that one skill you need to master for the future, if it was one skill you had to pick among all the, let's say, 4,200 courses that are available and 100,000 skills, as Raghav mentioned, that is available through the Coursera platform. Again, something for you to think, and I wish, again, this was more attractive that I called the whole question. And is this the skill you want to learn? Is that artificial intelligence? Is it cloud computing? Is it design thinking? Or is it leadership skills? Because you need to lead in a different world. Or is it learning to learn? Again, give this a thought. Think about it. What is it valuable? I feel that if you have answered E as your choice, then it is more closer to saying that at least you won't become obsolete, because even if the skill that you have learned becomes obsolete, you can always be a learner and learn new skills. And I think that's what platforms like Coursera are enabling us to do. So again, I've actually met with the faculty who offers learning to learn a course, and it's one of the most popular courses besides technology courses on the Coursera platform. And I invite all of you, since you are beginning your learner's journey, to really take that course. It will prepare you for the future. Now, from a GITAM perspective, right? Why is this important? Why is Coursera important? Why are we bringing this to you? And again, many of you might have heard, some of you might not be familiar. As we said, the learning world, the education industry itself is going through a huge disruption. And one of the disruption is in the formal education program, right? You're all listening to us through something that is technology enabled. And this is what blended learning is about. It's about blending of two different mediums. One is the other one online. And you bring two different powerful mediums together. You are not only enabling new thought, but you are enabling a whole different set of how we learn and how we take our learning journey forward. And this is the beauty of it, is that you're enabling a lot of different models. It doesn't have to be what we call chalk and lecture kind of a mode. There is so many different modes of learning. And I think the beauty of it for each of you as a student is that it puts you in the seat of control. And, when we say you have control, of course, there is the Spider-Man, right, famous quote that says, with great power comes also great responsibility. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But the good news is it is putting you into control. It is giving you a choice to choose courses that you want to take. And I think one of the things that's also enabling this is, besides technology, is, as I said, different models. And one of the models that will focus a lot in GITAM as we move forward, and this is one of my favorite models, it's called flipped classroom. Some of you might have heard it. Some of you might be new to it. So just to give you what are we flipping, it's not the Apple or the books, although we are flipping that as well. We are making a lot of it virtual. But really what we are flipping is how you learn. And when we talk about learning, if you remember, I grew up in this way where I would come to the class, the teacher would explain me the concept and will tell me, will maybe walk us through a chapter, we'll read it in the class together. And then we will get homework to do where we apply some of the concepts that we have learned in the classroom. And we apply it during the homework that the teacher has assigned us, and then come up with areas. And when the teacher grades, she'll know where we have got clarity or where we have missed the concept. Now we are flipping this because technology allows us to do that. And the whole idea is that the concept learning, actually understanding the concept, will happen before even the class begins. And that is where you as a learner become responsible, because you will be given material that you'll have to review before you come to the class. And during the class, it will be more engagement mode, where you are trying to apply and analyze your application of that concept. And after class, we are doing more of the synthesis and analysis. So this is a new way of thinking, and it's a new way of thinking both for the teacher as well as for the learner. And again, we are just beginning our journey. It's not to say we have perfected it, but this is where Coursera is coming very handy, because when you flip the classroom, you need to give students a lot of the content beforehand. And this is where we are leveraging some of the Coursera courses that will be assigned to you as pre-reading material, as post-reading material, to be able to help you in your thinking and in clarification of the concepts. Again, so as I said, there are two sides of the blended learning equation, and both sides are changing, and both sides are present here in this conversation today. The teacher is going more from a transferer of knowledge to actually being a guide and being a mentor, and playing more of a role in terms of engagement. Again, the teacher will focus more on what are the different kinds of assessments that can really help and foster learning. And it's not assessments for the sake of grading, but really to foster learning. And again, you as the student, what expectations we have of you are also going to change. And they're going to change over a period, but they're going to change very drastically. And one of the things that we will tell you a lot about is self-directed learning. But the other thing that we'll also tell you is to collaborate with peers and evaluate your peers. Again, something very, very important for you to keep in mind, that it's not just the teacher that's evaluating you, it's also your peers, because a lot of learning happens from, from peer to peer. And again, you'll see a lot of examples on Coursera platform for that, because a lot of their assessments are peer-to-peer assessments based. Just to give you a little bit about Coursera, and again, I'll keep it this short because I'm sure Akansha and Deepak will go through some of these things, is that, when you come on Coursera, think about it not just as a platform where a lot of courses are there, but it is a platform, it's a learning and a live ecosystem. And when we are talking about this, actually, Raghav mentioned, right? I mentioned 56+ million registered users. This was in April. Since then, we have now 65 million users. So imagine the number of learners, the number of people you can engage with is constantly changing. The number of courses, actually, what I put in here is probably become obsolete. There's become more number of courses up on Coursera platform. But think about it as an ecosystem where you have the best of schools, you have the best of learners, you've got corporates, and you've got educators on the same platform. And part of it is up to you. How do you leverage that for your own learning? Again, just to point out some of the things, my favorite, of course, is Andrew Ng, because he has got this phenomenal course called AI for Everybody. And the whole thing is, how do you demystify artificial intelligence so even a lay person, even a kid can understand it? And he was the co-founder of Coursera. And of course, we have also Nobel laureates. So we have Professor Robert Schiller. So imagine you can take a class from him. He's at Yale University and he has a course on Coursera. And again, a whole plethora of such phenomenal faculty that you will have access to through their courses. Again, I'm going to skip some of the slides in the interest of time, but this is the whole portfolio of courses, specializations, and so on that you have available. We talked a lot about the different streams, right? And I think that's the beauty of online courses. I really like Bharat's point of saying, hey, there's a multidisciplinary set of courses available to you. So if you were interested in, let's say, in a law course by a Harvard faculty that you would never have taken because you're an engineering student, here is a platform that allows you to do that. Similarly, when you think about skills, there are two buckets that I would like you to think about. One is hard skills that are essential for your program, for the program that you're registered in at GITAM. There are other skills that are what I call soft skills, and very, very important to think that this platform provides you access to both skills. Hard skills, of course, we have worked with the deans of various institutes and faculty members to curate that list that would be relevant from a GITAM program perspective. But we encourage you to take any course in the soft skills that is of your interest and where you feel you need to develop as an individual. Again, just to reiterate on some of the numbers, you know, we have had 17,000 enrollments so far. This is with the COVID program. This is not the new program, but with the old COVID license that we had. And so that means on average, everyone is taking at least 5 courses. And again, huge number uptake. And again, these are your peers. So if you are confused, please talk to your peers. I'm sure in your peer network, there's someone who has taken courses and can recommend to you. We'll also have the learner stories that we will share with you. Again, from a GITAM perspective, as Krish and Bharat both have pointed out, our deans and faculty have worked very hard. Imagine combing through 4,200 courses plus 350 projects to really bring to you a very highly curated list of courses that are relevant to your program and discipline. So as we enable the licenses, what you will see is you'll see a program list that is curated specifically for your particular stream, whether you're in engineering, sciences, management, or law. Initially, we are starting with these, but slowly we'll bring the other institutes as well, architecture, medicine, and so on and so forth. But we are starting with these core streams, and you will see a particular program list that is managed for your specific semester, for your specific stream. And those are courses that you need to take. If you have confusion, there is a faculty administrator that is assigned from your institute who will be your guide and who will help you in making sure that you know what courses you need to take and you complete them from the course perspective. Because these courses, you will get credit from your course, from your faculty member that you take at GITAM. And again, one very, very important point to keep in mind, we are now making sure that you only log in through GITAM email ID. So please, whether it's Zoom or whether it's Coursera, we encourage all students to only use GITAM email ID. No other email IDs would be permitted. We have very exciting stories to share with you. So I'm going to skip this slide, but we will have those videos played by the students. Amazing. Again, these are your peers, and I encourage you to reach out to them as well as others in your peer group to really know what was their experience. Nothing better than a peer group to tell you what is working, what is not working. So, you know, my last question, and, you know, something for you to think about, what does college education mean to you, right? Something to think about. Is it just 4 years of hard work? Are you here because it will help you find a good job? Are you here sometimes will it help you find a good spouse? That's not unheard of. Will it help you build a more purposeful life, right? And maybe, or is it that it will make my parents happy? Something for you to ponder about. Bharat did give you a hint, but I think you should all think about it. And the good news is The Coursera as a platform enables you to explore different aspects of this on the platform. And the last thing is just, there are hard skills and soft skills. Take advantage of it, learn from your peers, share your experiences. Again, something that as a heading blended learning at GITAM, I would love to hear from you. What's working for you? What's not working for you? How can we change things? How can we make it better? Give and ask for help. I think very, very important for you as you go through this transformative journey. I hope part of your college journey is also about discovering yourself, what you like, what is your passion, what motivates you, what gets you out of bed every day. And finally, last but not the least, enjoy the journey. Make the most of it, but don't forget to enjoy it. So with that, I put a stop to my presentation, and I'll invite Deepak and Akansha to take over, as well as play the student journeys. I also wanted to acknowledge Professor Rajesh, who has been instrumental in driving the whole adoption of Coursera to GITAM, and both of us will be your contacts at high level. Besides the admins that we have identified, the faculty admins that will be helping you at the institutional level. And again, now Deepak and Akansha are really going to walk you through also how do you log in, how do you get access to courses, and so on and so forth. The other thing is that we will share a link with you of frequently asked questions, and it is the help site for the Coursera at GITAM initiative that you will all be able to refer to and get basic help and guidance. So thank you so much. I wish there was a Q&A, but we'll reserve that for some other day. Again, this is just the beginning of our journey, and I hope we get to interact with you a lot more. Thank you.
Thank you, Rima. Very quickly over to, I know we are past our allotted time, but this is so important that you stay a few more minutes. We will, I know Deepak and Akanksha will be very efficient to take you through their presentation. So bear with us a little bit. Over to you, Deepak.
Yeah, thank you, Chris, and thank you to all the panelists who have taken time out of their schedule to speak to all of us today. Before I start with the demo, I'll run a short learner video from one of the GITAM students, one of your students in the university. It's a short video, and let me share and play it for you.
Hi guys, I'm Shwashita from GITAM Hyderabad campus. I am here in front of you to tell my experience of Coursera. As I was started my first course, we called Titles, inspired by one of our faculties.
It's low on volume, Deepak.
When I started the course, I felt it was a bit easy. Then when weeks goes on, I felt it was a bit difficult to complete my assignments. With the help of our faculty, regardless, I have completed my first course. I am very happy that I completed that course, as my parents will motivated me to do many courses as I was done the first course. Then later, I spent nearly 4 to 5 hours a day.
Deepak, I don't think we're able to hear very clearly.
Complete my courses. Till today, maybe I have completed 40 to 45 courses.
I think Deepak, we can we'll put it on the website for everyone to refer to.
Yeah, Deepak, I don't think this is coming through very well. Rather than spend time on this, I think we will post it on the website so everyone can watch it. You can stop the video, then go through your presentation. I apologize for that.
Okay. Yeah, apologies for that technical glitch. Let me go ahead with the demo then.
We can't hear you, Deepak. Akanksha?
Yeah, are you able to hear me now?
We're having trouble with Deepak's audio. Would you like to take over?
Yeah, Deepak, I think we can hear you now. If you could maybe kill your video. We
Okay.
can hear you.
Sure. Give me a sec. All right. So, are you able to hear me okay now?
Yeah,
yes,
we
much
can.
better. Good.
All right, great. So from tomorrow onwards, all of you will start receiving these invitation emails to join Coursera platform, the GITAM, Coursera for GITAM programs. And the email that you will receive will look similar to what I'm showing on screen. It will say that you have been invited to start learning on Coursera. And then there will be, in this email, there will be a join now button. All you need to do while joining Joining this program is to click on the join now button. Once you click on it, this button will take you to Coursera website and to the program which has been created for your stream or for your department. So each student will get a link or an invitation which is specific to their own stream. So computer science engineering student will get a link to the program which is part of their own stream, while a management student will get a link for their own program. So to do that, you just need to click on join for free. And when you click on this button, Coursera will ask you whether it will automatically identify your email ID, which was used to send you an invitation. And all you need to do is enter your password. If you already have a Coursera account, you just need to enter your password. If you don't have a Coursera account so far, so you just need to choose a password that you can use to log into Coursera. And when you log in, you will be automatically added to the program. And on the program page, you see two tabs. One is My Courses. My Courses tab will show all the courses you are taking so far. And while Browse Catalog will show you the collection of courses that your faculty and your teachers have selected for you. And at the same time, while your teachers have chosen some courses for you, they have curated the courses that you should be taking as part of your curriculum. You can also search for any other course that interests you out of the curated courses and take those courses as well. Like I was saying on YouTube comments as well, a lot of students want to take IBM data science courses. So you can at any time search these courses in the learning program and enroll in those courses as per your interest levels. One thing to note, some of your students will already be part of the GITAM free licenses, which were launched in April. So in that case, on the top left of your screen, you will see this drop box, which will give you option to switch between your curriculum learning program or your free response program as well. So in case you have already enrolled in a course as part of the response program, you can just click on this drop down and go to the response program and continue your learning journey there as well. So this way, you can easily switch between your free program as well as your paid program or part of your curriculum as well. And going back to the learning program, which you will be invited to take a course, you click on Browse Catalog and say you want to take the algorithms course from Princeton. You click on the course and a course description page will show up, which will give you the details of the course, what the course is about, how long the course is. And then you can just click on enroll for free and you will be immediately enrolled in this course, and you can click on go to course and start taking the course immediately. And you can take or enroll in multiple courses simultaneously as well based on your schedule and interest. And with that, I will pass it over to Akanksha, who will talk a little bit more about the features which are part of the course platform, learning platform that you can utilize to make your learning journey more efficient. So, Akanksha, over to you. I'll just present the slides.
Thanks, Deepak. And I see a lot of questions in the chat on YouTube as well as on Zoom. So I guess maybe we'll take a couple of questions and we'll ask somebody from GITAM as well to take a couple of questions, since there are quite a few on getting access to the license. All right, next slide, please. Great. So a lot of you asked, how do we actually access a course? How do we go to the course? On the right-hand side, you see over here, this is the way the desktop view would be, where you would see my courses and catalog. So after you enroll in a course, which Deepak just showed you how to do, it will show you under My Coursera, which will be a part of your program homepage. You can simply click on resume or preview on the right-hand side where it shows you that button. And you can also get the course access under the catalog tab under your program page. So these are the two areas from where you can actually go to your course. Next slide, please. Yeah, so once you do access your course, as Deepak was showing you a screenshot of how that would look, this is a desktop view of how a course would look, where on the left-hand side, you can see the overview, and courses are divided week-wise. And essentially once you enroll, these will be broken down into weeks, and in the navigation bar, you'll have access and links to assignments, videos, and readings, which are all available on the right-hand side, as you can see. Essentially, if you want to start learning, you can just simply click on the start button, which you can see on the bottom right, or you can click on resume when you return to a course, and so you can just start off where you left off from. So when you're on the platform, you can also view your course progress with a very quick glance. As you can see on the right-hand side, you would be able to see you've already completed week 1, you're on week 2 and completed some parts of week 2 as well. Once you press, again, so if you press the resume button, it'll take you back to where you left off. So I won't cover much on this, but essentially within week 3, you're able to see how many minutes of videos and how many minutes of readings you have left, or if you still have a quiz left, when is it that it's due, and the total time remaining for the week as well. So fairly comprehensive summary of where you are on that course. Yeah, so a lot of so essentially deadlines are something that are suggested deadlines that help you keep on track. These are behaviors that we've seen with learners, and when there are deadlines, you tend to kind of push yourself a little more to finish just a little bit more of the course. And so, of course, if you're busy and you're finishing a course that is maybe for credit, and you're taking another course that is more interest based, which is showing up deadlines, you can always reset this and make sure that you can reset your deadlines and press a refresh button on that. So but when you click on the reset deadlines, it could be from the in-course page, or it can also be from the program homepage, where you can see all of your courses. Next slide, Deepak, please. Right. So you can also keep track of all of your grades and completed assignments. So as we were showing you earlier, there was a left side navigation bar which showed you an overview, but then we also have grades, notes, discussion forums. So within the grade section, what you can do is you can view all the quizzes and assignments in the course, see which assignments are due or overdue, like we were talking about in the previous slide in terms of deadlines. You can see all of your graded quizzes and completed assignments. You can also retake quizzes and assignments from this page if you want to improve on a score, or maybe if you didn't pass the first time, you can retake that assessment as well. Of course, for 4-credit courses, faculty might have identified certain mechanisms of how they will be calculating the grade. And that's something that you should speak to your faculty about if you have questions on that. Next slide, please. Yeah, so we also have, as part of that navigation bar, we have discussion forums, which actually allow you an opportunity to exchange feedback on assignments and discuss your ideas, in these course discussion forums. And these are not just going to be learners only from GITAM. These will be learners from across the world who are taking the course at the same time as you are. So it's a great place to kind of interact and share some of those ideas. And that's something that you can also access from the left-hand side on the menu. We've also created a Coursera community, which you can see over here. The link is coursera.community. If you go to that link and you actually log in from your the Coursera ID that you have, there are multiple things that you will be able to do. You can, I mean, there are a lot of people who find it really useful to find a study buddy. You can actually find a study partner over here across the world. You know, you can get introduced to a community that likes learning together. You can talk about, you know, what are the things that matter to you most about the video lecture and things like that, as well as give feedback to a lot of the faculty that are creating these courses. And of course, you have that option within the course and on the platform as well. But this is a separate community if you would like to, you know, discuss and share a little more and find more learning buddies around the world. Next slide, please. So when you click on a video for a particular course, there are multiple options that you have, and I'd love to run you through some of those options. And of course, these options are also available on the mobile app, which I'll talk about just in a bit. But Coursera's courses are very interactive, and they have a searchable transcript. So each course at the bottom, if you can see right below where it says English, we also have a transcript that's getting highlighted. So while the faculty talks, this transcript gets highlighted. You can click on any part of the transcript, and that's where the video would skip to as well. Deepak, I think you stopped sharing your screen. Yeah, thank you. If you could go back.
Yeah, can you see it now?
Yeah, could you go back one slide?
Sure.
Yeah, thank you. So yeah, that's one aspect that I wanted to highlight to you. The other aspect I wanted to highlight is that, you know, within video lectures, different people listen at different speeds or watch at different speeds, and so you do have the option of changing the video's playback speed to 1x up to 2x as well, if you would like to go a little faster. There are other features where you can actually save notes, save your own notes or from the transcript itself, on the course itself, if you'd like to refer back to it later. And then we do have language subtitles that are there in about 35 languages. So if you're taking a language learning course, and it's available, if the course is available in a different language that you prefer, then that's something that you can utilize. The most important, I think, part that I would want to focus on is downloading videos for offline viewing. And so some of you might actually prefer to download some of these courses and watch them, you know, on your way somewhere. And since most of us are stuck at home these days, there's also, I mean, you have the option of downloading them and watching them at any point in time that you want on the mobile app or on the website. Next slide, please. Yeah, so we do have, as I mentioned earlier about assignments and grades, we have graded quizzes within each course that will help you reinforce some of these concepts. So while you watch the videos and you go through the readings, there are also quizzes that will reinforce some of these concepts. These could be multiple choice questions. These could be in video questions, and there are different types of quizzes and assessments that are there on different courses that you would be prompted to take as part of the course. And so you can, as I mentioned earlier, you can retake these quizzes and assignments if you want to improve a score or if you did not pass the first time. Yeah, as I was mentioning, we are available on the Google Play Store as well as on the App Store. And I would say about 95% of all the courses on Coursera can be taken from start to finish on the mobile phone, laptop, or a tablet. Where you would be required to use a desktop would be the guided projects, which Deepak will be covering in just a bit. You do have access through these platforms, and you know, it will provide you with an intuitive classroom experience on the app as well. As you can see on the left hand side, most of these features are also available on the app. Back to you, Deepak.
Yep. Thank you, Akanksha. And with that, we come to the end of our event for today. And before we wrap up, I'll ask Krish to close out the webinar with some closing remarks.
Sure. Thank you, Deepak and Akanksha. And thank you all the participants. We have run over our scheduled time. I hope that does not cut into your other engagements for the evening. My apologies for that. But I think, we couldn't have skipped the last half hour or so, where Akanksha and Deepak covered some of the important stuff for you to get familiarized with how to log in, how to get through your course. I know you could not have absorbed all of it in a short time like this. Some of the connections might not have been great, or you might not have heard things. But there's help available. I believe it's help_Coursera@gitam.edu. That is a general helpline. You can send an email there. Or as Rima said, each institute has a designated Coursera champion, Coursera admin. You can reach out to them if you belong to any, one of those. I'm sure all of the students and faculty belong to different institutes, so you find help there. Or reach out to Rima or Rajesh. Rajesh is available at the university level to everyone, just like Rima is. We're all here to support. Rima and her team are working very hard to make this as easy and enjoyable experience as it can be for anyone. So with that, I wish you all the best. Coursera for GITAM is officially launched, and happy learning to all of you.
Thank you so much, Krish. Happy learning, everyone.
So much. Yeah, happy learning and stay engaged.
Have a great evening.
Happy learning, everyone, and have a great rest of your evening.